winner of the 2011 Tasmania Nokia Business Innovation Award is Genevieve Atkins.
This is the moment. This is the most wonderful time for me. While I thank everyone, and I thank Hudson's for the corporate award, I thank Telstra for the awards, and I thank especially Nokia, this award is what I'm passionate about. I was happily coasting along at the travel agency I was working for, and while I'd set up a travel club for women, which was extremely successful, I just wandered along and just did my business development manager work, but I really needed another challenge. And in the form of Leanne Levitt at my table, she came to me and she said, "Jen, I've come up with this wonderful idea, but I can't do it without you. I want you to be part of it." When she told me about it, I thought, oh my goodness, this woman's gone crazy, and how can I tell her? Because she's so motivated and she's so passionate about what she's talking about. And I thought, I went home that evening and I went to bed and I couldn't sleep because I could see, and it came to me, what it would all be about. Can I now tell you that we launched Volunteer Holidays just 15 months ago? No, not... Firstly, I've got to get back to the nun bit. The nun bit was, my beautiful mother was a widow when I was 3, and she was left with 3 little children. My sister was only 14 months old. My father drowned, and he worked for the railway. There was no home. The house was just taken from my mother. She had nowhere to live. So there weren't pensions in those days. So what happened was she had to housekeep in return for her keep. So we travelled around, and my mother housekept at 15 different places in the country. And I spoke to Alison Flakemore about this last night. I was brought up in the country. And while I mentioned the nun bit, I met with 4 of my school friends at Sacred Heart at Geefston, and all I wanted to do was to be a nun. My mother had taught me all she could give was love, and she loved us all, and she loved a second family she brought up when she was 52, and Cassandra's here today, and she is an example of a beautiful person, a person that was brought up by my wonderful mother. She took on giving love and giving to people, and it was in those days that I was travelling around so much that I believe I got the travel bug within me. So that's why I joined the airline and started to fly. I'm sure that's where it came from. But yes, I did want to be a nun. And because of my mother's situation, it happened that I had to go to work at 15, and my brother had to go to work at 16 and a half to support my mother, because my beautiful cousin Jeanette is here today, and it was her father, my mother's brother, that put the money together with my grandmother, our grandmother, to buy a house for my mother. But it meant me going to work and my brother going to work, so that's why I didn't become a nun. But thank God I didn't, because I'd rather be here receiving a second award. And all the Sisters of St Joseph's, my friends out there now, are all praying for me. So that's even better. Let's talk about volunteer holidays. Leanne and I partnered together, and I developed it, and we worked together to bring it to market. And that was only 15 months ago, as I said. But can I tell you what we've done? We've brought it to the corporate community. We've brought volunteer holidays. It's unique. What it is not just having a holiday, not someone just coming into our office and we book them a holiday. What it is a unique experience. It gives you, business people here today, the opportunity to give back. Here I am after all these years in the airline, and what Leanne did for me was the most unbelievable thing. She gave me the opportunity to bring this to market. And I've taken 2 trips away to Vietnam, and I've got 4 people at my tables today that I have said, you've got to come with me whether you like it or not. And while they coughed up, they knew they had to. They came with me, and we had a wonderful experience. We fundraised before we left. That's how we got the money. What we did was, we have to date raised $66,000 in just 15 months for things like 20 wheelchairs, clean water for 4 villages, an aid hospice in Thailand, 10,000 worming tablets for children in Vanuatu. We also organised a container to send 5,000 bras to Vanuatu and 10,000 thongs. These are people there that wouldn't have these things. And 50 child sponsorships in Vietnam and a healthcare centre in Timor. Let me say, when we did this holiday, volunteer holiday, come volunteering, what we did was, we, the people that went with the group, had the pleasure of giving to these people the 20 wheelchairs. And I don't mean parents who needed a wheelchair for their little baby that was deformed. I'm saying there were older children there that the parents had carried around in their arms. And they were just in awe when we delivered these wheelchairs to them. We used our volunteer partners to use that money where they felt fit. We also not only did that, we called it a welfare centre. There were 160 people thrown in together when they cleaned the streets up in Vietnam, and they threw them all in together. They were mentally handicapped. There was a little baby there that was found on a railway track. We in Australia are just so lucky. We take it for granted, and every little child in the world deserves clean water. What have we done? We feel fantastic, and each and every one of you here today could do exactly the same. Please visit our website, volunteerholiday.com.au. Please come on a trip with me to Vietnam. I'm not only going to Vietnam, I'm going to be going all over the world, because what it did for me and what it did for the group that were with me, and how the making of a difference to we took these little children, we went and visited them in the orphanage. There were 22 of them. Beautiful Mary Knapp here today. She didn't come with me, but what did she do? She knitted these beautiful outfits for these little children's for the Barbie dolls. They had one beautiful bridal gown on the Barbie doll and then a second outfit. We took those and delivered them to those little children. I can't tell you what it meant to us and to those little things. And it's all about now, my role is not so much about, it's all about people and giving to people. It's giving to those little people over there that have absolutely nothing. I've got nothing more to say, but fundraising can be fun. You know what the latest fundraiser, just quickly I did? I had all these presents my friends had given me over the years. And I had 2 boxes full, and they were massive, and they were just hoard. And Greg kept saying to me, "You've got all this stuff you hoard at your place." I said, "Well, there are all these presents I don't want." And getting a little older, I'd forgotten who'd given them to me, because sometimes I'd give one of these presents to somebody else. So I said, "Greg, what we've got to do is we've got to have a sausage sizzle, and we'll have really cheap wine, and we'll have this, that and the other. And you can come along and cook, and I'm going to get all these presents." So I sent out an invitation to all the friends that had given me these presents, and I said, "I've got all these wonderful quality items at this fundraiser. Do come along and buy them." If you could have been there that afternoon, it was the greatest party I'd ever had. They had the sausage sizzle and they drank the wine, but when they walked in the room and saw their present there, Genevieve, I gave you that in 1998. And Genevieve, how could you do that? I gave you that present in 1996. But it's a quality present and you can buy it back for $20. I raised $658.55. So fundraising, ladies and gentlemen, can be fun. I've gone past my time. Again, I want to thank everybody here in Telstra and all the sponsors, and especially now I've got to mention my beautiful niece Cassandra. My mother brought her up And I supported my mother bringing Cassandra up. She's here today, and she's like a daughter that I never had. And I just want to mention that because that's very important. It's all about love. It's all about giving to one another. And I just love that so much from my TAA days, my Australian Airlines days, my Qantas days, my travel studio days, and now to volunteer holidays. Thank you very much.